what we're going to do here, guys, is we haven't even decided on this right now, but we're just going to go to Reddit. Cory, you happy with this? And we're just going to scroll through, find a title we like, and we're going to provide our own diagnosis of it. What are your thoughts, mate?
I like it. I think I might have found one already. It should be in the top of PPC Reddit. It's so I decided to try Performance Max WTF. I like it.
So I tried to find. Okay.
You might have to search it.
Okay, so I decided to try. Okay, let's have a look at this. Now, I have not read this. I think Cory's probably had a bit of a look, so he's got. No. Just Cory, I'm going to let you read through this because actually I don't have my glasses on right now, even though I could put them on. I'll let you read it, and then I will start meditating on the thoughts.
Okay, so all right, so I decided to try Performance Max W2F. Let's see, a lot of experience manual CPC campaigns. That speaks to someone who has been doing this a while, or maybe doesn't trust the automations in the smart bidding. I used AdWords.
Control.
Another sign of an old school advertiser. I use AdWords to market my own business, and I'm very attentive to everything. Okay, maybe micromanagement, maybe a little bit here. I easily have 20,000 hours on a platform. I don't know how anyone would keep track of that, but congrats.
Easily, flowingly, abundantly.
Let me check. I'm at 212,139 minutes. Okay. Yes. Okay. With that mode of operation, manual CPC has always been amazing for me. Okay. Awesome. Over the many years I've been using ads, one thing has been consistently true for me: never let Google decide what's best. Okay. Now I get that the tech gets better. Let's see. As tech gets better, this may become less of a truism, and it is with this in mind that I decided to test out Performance Max. So real quick, I'm just going to jump in with some things here. Now I get that as tech gets better, this may become less as a truism. I feel like I've been hearing this every single year, the entire decade that I've been doing Google advertising. Yeah. It's like, oh, the tech's getting better. Maybe next year or this is the year I start trusting it. It's like, one thing I'll say is, guys, you have to embrace it as it comes. There's never going to be that moment that you're like, all right, now I trust it.
Yeah.
So I like that he's giving it a try. That's a good sign, being a little bit more open-minded, he or she. All right, so I made a campaign. Let's see, set up some limiting parameters, and let her rip. Within 1 hour, I had used my daily budget, which was admittedly low. Okay, so maybe already a sign of not the most experienced advertiser. There's probably way too many products, and $5 a day or something, and CPCs are $3. All traffic was cross-platform, of course. Click-through rate's 14. This kind of thing, the click-through rate. I'm trying to kind of educate you guys as we're going through this rather than just me generically reading it. Click-through rate is 14%. You've got to establish your own benchmarks for your own account. I don't know if that's great for them or not. I'm just going to assume that's really good because usually 14 is generally good. I got 56 clicks, small sample size, 6 conversions, very small sample size for a conversion rate of about 10%. My normal conversion rate is 5. Sounds great, right? Except that one of my conversion goals, lead gen, is clicking a WhatsApp widget. Well, just the click count. So already tracking. Michael, you already started to see the problem here. When we talk about conversions, guys, it's very important to say, what are we? Is this a purchase? He's actually already identifying part of the problem here. So just the click counts, no way to tell if they actually start a convo. Okay, already a problem. Also, all 6 conversions were the WhatsApp click. I asked my office if we had any leads come through WhatsApp during that period. 0. So WTH, what the hell? It looks like crap traffic with bots that click the chat widget. It seems like a minimum the network experiences aggressive fraud. Okay, now we're getting a little conspiratorial here. I guess I have one question. Okay, now we're at the question. Am I missing something? Okay. There are people here praising Performance Max, but I just don't see how this can work for me. Okay. I'm going to say one thing, Michael, and then I'm going to let you dig into this a little bit more. Okay. So my initial thought is, we have this is like doing an experiment for an hour and trying to pass judgment very quickly.
Yep.
We already know that he's even saying, he or she's already saying, this WhatsApp widget, that shouldn't even be the primary conversion. That should be a micro-secondary conversion. It's going to let you know in directionally what's happening here when the click is happening. But when we're saying there's 6 conversions, but there's no purchases or no leads, to me, okay, you're getting like some indications that people are showing interest, but not really. This is just people clicking on a widget for WhatsApp. So tracking is a problem, it sounds like, in terms of what we're actually counting as a conversion. And you're telling smart bidding that you want more of these clicks that don't really tell you anything about the quality of someone they're paying for a click for. So lots of issues already with that. So my just big thing is it sounds like this is not a good enough experiment, a good sample size to really start judging. You obviously need to give smart bidding a long time, guys. I mean, again, there's always how many weeks or whatever. I don't know. It's going to be like 6+ weeks usually. Sometimes 2. Sometimes magically 1. It depends on a ton of factors. But I don't like the thinking on let's just launch it, see what happens, and then judge it after like essentially no purchases and basically 1 day of data. And this whole idea of people praising Performance Max, not everybody does. Lots of people talk a lot of crap about Performance Max. Yeah. You've got to set up a lot of the things in the right way in order to get it to work for you. But more often than not, you've got to control the networks that it's on, and you've got to be analyzing things at the product level to really figure out what you need to take out, what you need to restructure, and you need to manage your bidding over time. Those are the key fundamentals. So anyway, Michael, that's my high level on this. Please dig in.
Nice. Well, thank you for sharing all of that. I think the start of this is getting clear on what type of business this is. Is it e-commerce or lead generation? It's pretty clear that it's lead generation. I would say it's an assumption.
It kind of seemed like that,
The use... Oh, jeez. PMAX is for newbies, not us old dogs who still out of habit call it AdWords. Anyway, I would say that this is lead generation, and I think there's a big risk of running Performance Max on lead generation campaigns because the nature of it is what is it optimizing towards? As you've said, WhatsApp clips, not appropriate. It needs to be outcome-based actions. Now, it could be that they're running a cleaning company and people just click on the WhatsApp and then they converse through there. But unless you're actually got a conversion point that's very outcome based, like with e-commerce, it would be a purchase. With something like Performance Max, you'd want to be people filling in a form and knowing that the form is qualified. So I think there's multiple issues here. It's number one, lead generation runs a higher risk. Number two was within 1 hour, it used my daily budget, which was admittedly low. So there wasn't the sample size of data is number one. There's multiple factors, which is number one, your budget, number two, timeline, and number three, how many clicks you actually get in there. I don't know how much the cost per clicks were up or down. He doesn't say that. But saying you've got a low budget over 1 hour is ridiculous. We've got to treat this like you're a business consultant. And for something like this, or you're actually you're a CEO of a business, like a big business, and going, what's the budget I'm going to be allocating to this that I'd like for an experiment to be spending over X amount of days, the next 30, 60, 90 days, and allocating a budget to see what all the talk's about. Now, I think the risk that comes here is a lot of manual cost per click campaigns. Now, you shouldn't be going from manual cost per click campaigns straight to PMax. Like, you should be using a maximized conversions model because that way you're actually leveraging more of the AI than what PMax is. Now, the benefits of PMax for lead generation is the retargeting aspect for the display and the video. But based on how this guy's communicating, I don't think they would be doing that much. My CTR was 14% on the search net. Cool. We've got 56 clicks and 6 conversions. So 56 clicks. That's not statistically significant.
No.
And over what budget? Like, is the cost per click $1 or is it $5? Like, my normal conversion rate is 5%. And that's the thing. What goal is it operating towards? So I think this whole test was fundamentally flawed purely from the fact that the business wasn't set up to, number one, have specific conversion. Like, firstly, being lead generation, huge risk. Number two, not having very clear outcome-based goals. Number three, low budget. Number four, low time. Like, you're not going to get any success from this and going, am I missing something? Yes, like the strategy behind this. It's not PMax, it's the strategy. I just think like this, this was doomed to fail. If someone came to me like, hey, Michael, I want to teach out PMAX, the testing period will be 1 hour and the budget will be, I don't know, $25, and we want to have all of our conversions in the campaign, I'd be like, no. It's as simple as that. And I know it seems overly judgmental, but once again, I've spent over $110 million in ads, worked with enterprise companies. It's really easy, simple, and clear for me to see the gap. When someone's been doing 20,000 hours on platform, but it's only their own business and being manual, whilst that sounds like they know a lot, it's actually so limited because you're only going from that one direct experience. Like you and I've worked with over 600 businesses, like at least. There's patterns that you see in the business, there's patterns you see in the ad accounts, and then there's patterns you see in the business owner or the person running psychology. This is a psychology gap or a strategic psychology gap. So I agree. That's my thoughts.
I agree. Yep. Obviously, we're just hypothesizing, but I mean, and we can only go off of what we can see here. But yeah, I mean, I think one key is this. In the very beginning, it was, so I made the campaign. So they have high hopes. They've been hearing a lot of stuff about how great Performance Max is. And then they say, let her rip. Like let her rip. Like this is it's again, it's like a slot machine. Like, let's see what happens, but that is not what we're doing. The reason this is so valuable as a marketing channel is because we can control things. We get a lot of data to work with. Yes, I know it's seemingly less nowadays, or it is less than we used to get. But I don't really love this idea of just saying like, hey, I hear this thing is really good. Let's just give it a couple of days and let her rip and see what happens. That's not what we're doing. We need to look at this as a science experiment, guys. It is not just this like pull the slot machine and see if we get lucky with Google's smart bidding. That's not how it works. It tries to build confidence in what it's going after over time. It's not going to do that in an hour. It's not going to do it in a day. It almost sounds like they went into this with some optimism, but at the end, when it goes into, people are praising it, what the hell's going on? It just seems like a lot of crap traffic. It's almost like there was a part of them that didn't expect this to work in the first place, right? Yeah. Like they're kind of like cautiously optimistic, and then it didn't work right away. So they're like, they're thinking about pulling the plug is kind of what I'm inferring here, which we see all the time. I mean, this happens when I do consulting. I see people that they see it as like, maybe this is going to be the new magic button that transforms the business, but you got to think more strategically than that.
Yeah, it's usually psychology and strategy over the tools. Mm-hmm. But you've got to understand the limitations of the tools and the flaws of the tools. And a lot of the flaws that were mentioned in this are very correct, like, click fraud. But saying that like, these WhatsApp widget clicks, I'm like, dude, come on. Even if that's your main point, you've got to realize okay, then if you've got a click as a conversion, the algorithms will optimize to whatever pushes that. Now, this business owner seems sophisticated, and they may have a CRM. Like, they should be pushing that third-party CRM data back into the ad account and treat it more like ROAS. Things like customer list. Nothing was mentioned about customer lists. We don't know the industry. We don't know the location. We don't know the country. So there's a lot of limitations here that, whilst it may seem like, oh yeah, I've limited locations and language and let her rip. It's like there's very difference between Australia or UK or America or India. Very different in different countries, especially based on there could be click fraud. Just the time as well. But the biggest red flag for me was probably the conversion goals.
Yeah. And the budget.
Conversion goals, the budget, and then because the conversion goals will really set the direction of it. Like we've said, it's smart bidding or dumb bidding. Like, it's only dumb. Smart bidding turns to dumb bidding really fast if you don't guide it very clearly. Now, the locations are language, cool. Yeah. But the conversions don't seem like it was set up properly, and then their time. So anyway, for this person, I would say review the strategy behind this. Mm-hmm. Create a budget that you feel comfortable experimenting on. do it for a time frame at least 30 days, 21 to 30 days at least. Make sure you only got very specific outcome-based conversions where people are submitting their information. Make sure you've got UTM trackers on it. So then when you know you get that lead, you can qualify that lead to go, oh, that came from the PMAX campaign. So you can go, is this a quality lead or not? It could be a bot lead. Bots do fill that stuff out. Upload your client list, integrate your CRM, push that CRM value back in. Yeah, just really
and big one, negative keywords, ladies and gentlemen. Negative keywords. Yeah.
There we go. So apply the negative keywords that you've got in your account, copy them over, or I think you can apply them to PMAX campaigns now, but you can manually.
You sure can.
So, and then look, I think do an analysis, use a click fraud software as well, and then just see if that can measure if they're measuring that some of these clicks were fraudulent, just to see what their third party. Like I use this one called Fraud Locker, and I do use it but it just gives insight to what campaign they came from, and just seeing hey, is there a higher disproportionate amount of click fraud looking to come from PMAX? But once again, we're saying this very simplistically. This would probably take you and me an hour to set up properly. But for someone who isn't across as many accounts as us, has a diversity of experience, even though 20,000 hours is 20,000 hours, the diversity of experiences allow us to see things significantly more clearly. So when we can just read this, not to criticize this person, but just to really understand that, hey, there are other ways to go about this more effectively, more efficiently, and more clearly.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just to add one more thing. I mean, don't forget to, especially in lead generation, just because it could actually be an interesting sign that you were getting some of those widget clicks. They're maybe just not ready to convert yet. They might come back tomorrow and convert. This might have helped you, and you're not seeing that because you're looking at a very small window of time. So don't forget also there is going to be some delay in what's being tracked, as well as people just making up their minds, guys. They're human beings. Sometimes they're not ready to convert right away. So don't forget that.
Cory, let's finish this one off with you reading this sentence here.
Okay, I'll look it up. Okay, disclaimer. This is not Cory Lindholm saying this. Actually, PMAX only sucks if you are a noob. And I think too many OGs feel their self-worth threatened by AI. So don't apply the same critical thinking to it they do to their own campaign constructs, because they want to be able to say they tried it and failed. Thank you, Brisky Fee.